well, with Shannon Sharpe, that's my uncle. I love Shannon. I talk to him all the time. You just got to remember, Unc, Bron ain't going to run up and fight nobody for you. Keep that in mind.
What's going on there, guys? We back with another one, and today, man, we got Stephen Jackson speaking on the Memphis Grizzlies, LeBron James, Dillon Brooks, and that whole situation, right? Well, it's been a while, it's been over a week, but Stephen Jackson was on the I Am Athlete podcast, and he was asked by one of the hosts about Shannon Sharpe and the Grizzlies, about whether he would have been able to even come back in the game after something like that happened if he was just a regular person and it wasn't Shannon Sharpe. Obviously, we know the answer to that question. He would have been kicked out the game for the rest of the evening. But Stephen Jackson offered an interesting take on those events that night. And the words that he chose could be interpreted a lot of different ways. I'm going to let you hear what he had to say first, and then I'll be back with my commentary. Check it out.
I don't know if you guys saw the Lakers and Grizzlies game and how that unfolded. Shannon Sharpe, who's an OG in the NFL, Hall of Famer.
LeBron.
Yeah, and he's
what?
He's
Loyal
team
to
Bron,
LeBron.
loyal
He like
to
me.
LeBron.
Is that
LeBron
good
James.
media?
Huh?
Is that good?
I mean, he's a fan. How can you tell a man who to be a fan
This is
of?
good. Have you ever heard me say something bad about LeBron?
He's
No,
team
no.
Bron all the way. I mean,
But
everyone has
I
their
feel like if
favorite.
you're in the
Everybody
media,
got-
you can't be what?
I'm like that with Brooklyn.
Everybody
with
has
Kyrie
their-
and Bron and KD.
Okay, but go ahead. Finish your
Everybody
question.
has their
Finish
favorite.
your
I'm like that with
question.
the
Finish your
Cowboys.
question.
But I want to say, looking at that situation, it's a two-parter. One, if Shannon weren't Shannon Sharpe,
Right.
he would not still be in his courtside seat after getting into it with a player, with a team. On the other side of that, some people say, listen, the Grizzlies have to pay their dues. You can't go around running saying we don't duck smoke, we run up the chimney and all this stuff, and you haven't really done anything. We're not afraid of anyone in the West, you haven't really done anything. Where are you on the situation, and how do you feel about Memphis and their whole swagger as a team, and how do you feel about Shannon Sharpe getting into it with Dillon Brooks?
Yeah, well, with Shannon Sharpe, that's my uncle. I love Shannon. I talk to him all the time. You just got to remember, Unc, Bron ain't going to run up and fight nobody for you. Keep that in mind.
Hold on. What?
Bron ain't going to run up and fight nobody for you.
For Shannon.
He has
Why?
a point. Because that's not Bron's MO.
Bron ain't gonna do that.
Bron's not going to do that.
Man, Bron can see Shannon at a restaurant get into a scuffle. If he with his family, he ain't finna run over there. That's the last thing Bron finna, so keep that in mind, Uncle Shay Shay. Bron is not gonna fight for you. I know you love him, but he's not finna, you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be reciprocated. What was the second question?
How do you feel about the Grizzlies and their swagger without having proved anything in the NBA?
You should
just
be
yet?
confident. I love the fact that they're confident. They should be, but they haven't won. And that's just the truth. You can be confident, you can talk all this, but you gotta back it up, right? And ain't nobody really listening to that. The Warriors ain't listening to it. They sitting on 4-5 chip. They ain't listening. The Lakers sure ain't listening, because you got one of the best players to ever touch the court on their team. They ain't listening. They got championships all in the Raptors. What they got in Memphis? The best thing that happened to Memphis was Zach Randolph.
That's it as of now.
Right? So they can do all the talking they want. Guys in the basketball world, yeah, we gonna chirp with you, but y'all ain't done nothing. Ja, you on your way, and you can do some great things in this league. But in the whole scheme of it, you ain't won shit.
So, man, when I hear that, there's so many ways to look at that. The fact that he said, LeBron wouldn't fight if he was with his family. Well, if he's got his young daughter, his sons, and his wife with him, his primary responsibility is to make sure that the danger doesn't come their way. So I wish he would have just used the example saying if Bron was there with his teammates or Bron was just there with some homeboys or something like that. If he's there with his family, you could see why he wouldn't leave to go partake in the danger, and then, potentially some weapons come out and your kids is left unattended, so I would understand him actually not going over there with his young daughter with him or something like that. But I think his point is that Shannon is riding harder for somebody that wouldn't ride as equally as hard as him. I think that's what he was trying to say. What I will say about that whole situation is that it seems to stem from Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless being very hard on the Grizzlies, trash talk like they've won 15 championships. They got that whole bravado and that swag, saying they ain't worried about nobody in the West and stuff, talking before Like you know that video where Kobe say job finish. You know, like it's still more work to do, and he was in the finals and he wasn't satisfied, and he had already won championships. So you could see the contrasting mentalities. But back to the point, they have been talking a whole lot. The Grizzlies been talking like they've won so many championships, and I think Shannon speaking on that, Ja Morant hearing everything, you know, and internalizing everything, I think it came to a head. And also Dillon Brooks too, sitting there watching the show, and he was chirping with Shannon, even Steven Adams, and he's not one that normally gets into that type of stuff. But when Shannon was telling him to come over here, it seems to be, I could see what Stack is saying a little bit. It seems to be fueled by his love for LeBron James, because there was no reason to go that far. Yeah, Ja might have said something. He told him to sit his A down or something like that. And they were talking kind of disrespectful to Shannon. But at that point, you know, they were in full out kill mode out there on the court. So they were just trying to tear whoever's head off was right in front of them. And Shannon was clearly on the opposing side. You know, they see his LeBron James takes, and they see his disdain for the way that they are packaging themselves, and they didn't take too kindly to that. So what I would say to Steven Jackson is, I don't think the issue stems solely from his love from LeBron. I think it stems from things he said about them directly. Now, to Steven Jackson's point, it is kind of fueled by the love for LeBron, because where was he at? He was at that Lakers game. It was the perfect storm for all of these factors to come into play. And you saw that clip where LeBron said, you know, Shannon is his guy. He's going to ride with him till the wheels fall off, right? Well, Steven Jackson is saying that's not exactly true. He's saying that that's cap, and LeBron would not go that extra mile for you like that. So you in your 50s, you need to calm down doing all that, because that's not what Bron's going to do for you. And the choice of words, Steven Jackson said that love won't be reciprocated. That specific portion of the statement sounds like someone not had the love reciprocated from LeBron before, or somebody close to him hasn't had that same love reciprocated. I ain't saying for like a street beef or nothing like that. I'm just saying, like, for whatever it was, he's saying LeBron ain't gonna reciprocate that love. And Steven Jackson has said other things before on the older live, you know, that kind of make you scratch your head like, was he coming at LeBron? But, you know, he said that love wouldn't be reciprocated, and I think that part LeBron could take as disrespectful a little bit, you know, saying he's not a loyal guy, because I think LeBron prides himself on being loyal. Now, at the same time, I don't think Steven Jackson is one that cares. He's the one that's going to speak his mind, whether right or wrong, but he's going to tell you how he feel. And that part about Steven Jackson, I can respect, because he's not playing favorites. You know, he don't care if you have $1,000 or you have $1 billion. His opinion about you is going to be his opinion about you. So I can at least, whether it's favorable to me or not, I can respect people like that don't pick and choose, you know. He don't seem like one that pick and choose. So, hey, guys, I want to know what you think in the comments. Was Steven Jackson right to say that, or was he totally off base, man? Let me know. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.